Hello, welcome to video 6, which continues on the theme of how to express your ideas correctly. Now, the first aspect that I would like you to try and avoid is lack of conciseness. You need to remember that every assignment that you write this year will have a stipulated word count and that you should not go over by any more than 10%. So it is important that if you try to say a lot in those assignments, you need to make sure that you are concise in the way that you express your ideas. This person, for example, dedicated a whole paragraph to just say that the pupils in year 5 arrive in the classroom and that they have been encouraged to become independent by selecting a book of their choice. And, I think that is, all of that paragraph was wasted because it could have been expressed in one sentence, really. Now, it is also important that you clarify concepts correctly. It is extremely important, particularly at master's level. For example, this is an example of lack of clarification. This person said this teacher uses widely the creative curriculum in her lessons without actually explaining what the creative curriculum is. I am actually not aware as to what it is, for example. So, the reader is left a bit frustrated, and we want to avoid that. So these are examples of concepts that have been more successfully clarified. For example, self-esteem is notoriously difficult to define, and they're actually quoting several people here who have actually expressed that same thought. And it carries on. Each definition we read sheds a new light on the concept and conceals another perspective. So again, Mrook is actually there supporting the view that there are tensions with regards to the concept of self-esteem. Another example of well clarified concepts: competence-related beliefs, believing we are good at something, are imperative in developing high self-esteem. Again, well supported by relevant literature, and as I say, it is important that you do that. Following on that same thing is the need to back up statements, particularly if they are controversial. For example, this is an unjustified assertion. Also, I do not think it is necessary the presence of a TA all the time with these kids, as they need to learn to do it by themselves, and they won't have them in the real world. This person was certainly entitled to think that way, but you need to back it up somehow. You can't make such a controversial statement with no justification of backing up of any type. Preferably, you would back up such a statement with relevant literature. If relevant literature is not available, just back it up with observation, back it up with comments that that other teachers have made, but just make sure that you actually express that that is very much your own view, and that you haven't got any evidence for the certainty of that view, but but that you feel strongly that observation has led you to believe that, for example. But you need to try and back up those statements as much as possible. Now, another unjustified assertion: I have been really impressed by the number of pupils that did not speak English at home or have parents from a different country. As a teacher, I see it as an advantage, but some students did not see it that way. They were not too proud of it. My question is, why were they ashamed of the background? Now, here, particularly this statement here, how does this person know that they were not too proud of it? You need to actually back up such a statement. That is an observation that it just sounds extremely subjective, and you need to make sure that all of your comments and statements are objective, that you have got a way of actually justifying that point of view. Better examples of justifying assertions: the main form of assessment which enables pupils to actively consolidate and review the learning is, without question, self-assessment. And this is a quote that actually backs up the previous statement. For example, this statement, again, quite controversial about, that aspect not being important, again, backed up by relevant literature. So just make sure that you read widely and that if you have got a controversial statement to include in your assignment, that you back it up, preferably with relevant literature, but if not, with comments from observation or comments made by teachers, for example. I hope that was clear. Thank you.